What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be fixing and upgrading my 1991 Husaberg 350 that I got from my friend for just $100. In the previous video we tore a bunch of parts off this machine, we diagnosed a fuel issue, and we got the bike to fire up for the very first time. In today's video I bought a ton of parts that we're going to use to fix and upgrade this machine, and we're going to take it for a ride for the very first time and get it back on the road. So let's jump into the video and see if we can get this bike all fixed up. Alright guys, hopping right into the video. We got all of our parts here that we got for the machine that we needed. Let's go over each one, and then I got a little bit of a story to tell you guys that I found out in between part one of this video up until now. So a few of the things that I bought are things that the bike does need, and also just cosmetically. If you remember in the first video, we did not have a air filter cage for this bike. I was able to find one. I think this is from a different year. We should be able to get it to work. And it also came with an air filter here. This one's already oiled up and it doesn't look like it's really been used much, so we should be able to reuse that one with no issues. I went ahead and bought some Pro Taper handlebar pads. I like this color. I think it would complete the look of the bike, so I just bought that purely for cosmetics. Back here, if you guys remember, our fuel tank has a fuel pump, and we were not getting fuel sent to the petcock, so went ahead and picked up a brand new fuel pump. They have a OEM one for sale. It's $40 online, but I was actually able to find this one on Amazon. It had really good reviews, and I think it was maybe like 10 bucks. So I thought I'd give it a shot, see how it worked. It's exactly the same as the other one, so we're going to try that one out first. If this one doesn't work, then I can always go and buy the other one. I went ahead and bought a custom speedometer for the bike. I plan on making this bike street legal. And I also purchased a cable, but they sent me the wrong one. It didn't look like the picture. I'm not sure what was up with that, but they'll send me a new one tomorrow. So we'll get that installed on the bike as well, just so I can track the mileage and speed. For the front, I purchased a number plate. The headlight that came with it was cracked there on the front, and the headlight and everything worked, but I just didn't really like that cracked piece. And they sell one of these online for around $130. It's white with the yellow decal. I may still end up getting that one in the future just to have that headlight. But for now, I saw another bike just like this online, and they had a number plate like this. I thought it looked really cool, so we're just going to go with this for now, since I shouldn't need that headlight too much. But moving on over to story time, this is actually an interesting story, so I'm going to try to go through it kind of quickly. In our last video, we went through the documentation that came with the bike. It had a bunch of old manuals and a bill of sale and things like that. Well, upon further inspection, I was flipping through and I found like a medical document with someone's name and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy? You know, this has got to be a previous owner. And when I got the bike from Jesse, it didn't come with a title or anything like that. And I was like, you know, I'd really like to make this street legal. So I went out on a limb. I found the guy on Facebook. I reached out to him and I said, by any chance, do you have a title? Do you think that it's ever been titled? And he contacted me very quickly after that and said, yeah, I actually used to drive this every day for 3 years on the road. So I had a title, but I lost it. And that got me really interested. So I continued to ask a few more questions. Sure enough, the guy took the time. He went back into his safe, wherever he keeps his documents, and lo and behold, he had a title stored, but it was in a completely different folder, and he did not realize it at the time that Jesse purchased the bike. So he reached back out to me. He got my information, and he sent me the original title to my address, and we have it here. So that's just really cool that he was able to do that. You know, he didn't ask for anything in return. I offered, but he was a very cool guy, and I really appreciate him. His name was Brian. And Brian, if you're watching this video, thank you again for doing that for me. That's going to allow me to get this bike street legal here in South Carolina, get me out on the road. Also, something that Brian wanted me to mention, he said he watched Jesse's video and he had mentioned something about the cracked headlight and wanted me to clarify. He said that he actually bought the bike from the original owner, and after only about 2 days of owning the bike, he said he drove it into his mother's deck, and that's how the front headlight here was cracked and broken. And I just thought that was hilarious that happened, and I wanted to be sure to tell you guys about that. But with all that being said, we've got everything we need to hopefully fix this bike. Let's go ahead and we will start working on that fuel tank and the fuel pump. Let's get our gas tank off here. All right, here's the fuel pump. We just have 2 Phillips heads that we have to pop off, remove these 2 lines, and we should just be able to swap them out directly. It should be a 1-for-1 match. So we're going to get our hoses pulled off, screw the new one on there, and go ahead and test out to see if we get fuel flow. So as you can tell, these parts look pretty much identical. Everything is labeled the same, so we're going to go ahead and hook it up, see how it does, and hopefully that fixes our fuel issue. Let's go ahead and get this new one on. Before we throw our fuel tank back on, I just wanted to show you guys, I got the hose that connects the carb to the frame here for the airbox. I got that completely sealed with that rubber sealant. It seems to be holding up well. We're gonna fire it up here in a second before we put this fuel tank on to test it out, get this thing tuned a little bit, and once we do that, then we'll put our fuel tank on and test that fuel pump. And the only reason I'm doing that is because once the fuel tank goes on, I won't have access over here to the air mixture screw. I really need to be able to reach that so I can adjust it as needed. So let's go ahead and fire the bike up again, tune it a little bit, and then we'll test that fuel tank. All right, we're ready to fire this guy up. Let's go ahead and kick it over and we'll see if it starts up. Previously it started up with 1 kick, so we'll see how that goes. And I wasn't able to find a decompression lever online, the cable, so right now we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, take our time, get it past top dead center, and then we're going to kick it. So I think it's good right here. Let me put on some different shoes and we'll kick it real fast. I haven't started this bike in a few weeks since we did part 1, so we'll see how it does. All right, I'm gonna adjust this air mixture screw a little bit. It stumbles a little bit. That sounds pretty good. sounds very responsive. Initially, it was like stumbling right when you gave it that throttle. I think you could hear it on the camera there. So I turned it just a hair. I mean, ever so slightly. So that sounds really good. We're gonna spray some carb clean around this boot here and see if it stalls or dies or anything. That'll tell us if there's still an air leak. No change in the idle. No change in the idle. So I think that boot is fixed. So that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and we're going to test our fuel pump now. That'll be our big ticket item to see if our fuel pump is working now. All right, gas tank is going on. Okay. Let's get those hoses aligned. Oh, we got an issue. Our gas tank is leaking down here at the bottom. All right, I think I fixed the issue. I don't think it was sealed properly around those lines connecting to the fuel pump, so I tightened those up. Seems to be stopped now. Hopefully that was it. All right. Looks like everything's good there. I'm going to unhook this line here, and our fuel should pump out of there once we start the bike up. So we've got our auxiliary tank here still flowing. Let's turn that on. We're going to fire it up again, and we're going to watch this line right here. I'm going to get a cup, and fuel should start dumping out of there as soon as I start it up. So let's keep an eye on that right there. All right, attempt 2, here we go. Yep. We got fuel flow. It's not very fast. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I can see it slowly trickle up. So that was definitely our problem. It's pumping in there pretty good. I'm going to hook up the line now. That way it can start filling up the side before we take out that auxiliary tank. So we need to hook that up now. And I need to zip tie that, make sure it doesn't leak. I don't remember how much that fuel pump was. I know it was significantly cheaper than the OEM part, which the OEM part wasn't expensive, but I figured since they were both cheap, we would try it out and see. But I mean, so far it's doing pretty good. We'll have to see about the longevity of it. Okay, so that was a big win for us. That was one of our main issues that was keeping us from really riding this bike and testing it out. We need to go ahead and install all the other parts that we have. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to throw on this air filter, and then we're going to put on our cosmetic pieces, put the bike back together, and then we're going to hopefully take this thing on its first ride. So let's go ahead and do those because I'm very eager to ride this bike. So that's the air filter that came off of it. Let's take a look at the new one. Here's the new one. And the new one looks a little bit bigger than the original one in there. And I don't know if this is actually the right size or not. So let's throw this one in there and see if it lines up well and how that fits. You got the cage going in. Fits in there like that. Then that lines up there. I mean, it looks like it would work. Let's see if it'll bolt up here. Okay, I finally got our air filter secured on there. We greased up the back and it fits pretty well. The only thing I had to do, I had to swap out this bolt here. I put in one that was a little longer. The other one was just a hair short, just wouldn't reach to screw in. So that's the only thing different that we did there. But it looks pretty good. Like it fits in there pretty nice. Everything's sealed up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything on. I'm gonna put all the cosmetic pieces on, the handlebar pad, the front number plate, all that good stuff off camera. I just really don't think that recording all that is necessary. So I will see you guys tomorrow. It's a pretty rainy day out here today. So hopefully tomorrow the weather is better and we're gonna take this thing for a ride for the very first time and see if we have completely fixed the bike and see how it does. What's up, guys? We're back. It is the next day, and as you can tell, we got the bike all put back together. We got all of our other cosmetic pieces put on, and I think this bike looks really sharp. I'd like to try to clean up these plastics a little bit more. This blue color is a little hard to do, but overall, I think this number plate looks pretty good on there. You guys will just have to tell me your opinion on that. And the speedometer, the cable here, I got to find out how to reroute it. So that way it's behind that number plate. I might have to get a longer cable, I'm not sure, but it's on there. So hopefully it's, functional. Another thing I forgot to mention, I also noticed that this petcock that was originally on here was leaking a lot. It did fine in the off position, but if I turn it on or to reserve, it leaked really bad from the bottom. So I think the gasket inside here was bad, or excuse me, the O-ring was bad inside here. So I found this one online. It's made by Kirby's as well, and it looked very similar to the original. I threw it on here and it seems to be working great. So that's another thing that we did as well. But overall, I mean, this bike looks really good. I'm pretty excited to ride this thing for the first time, see how that new fuel pump does. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up. We're gonna hop on it, take it down the road, and see how she does. torpedo's working, that's good. Front brakes are pretty noisy. I think the clutch seems like it's a little hard to shift, and also when I have it in gear, it seems like it's trying to pull away a little bit. Like, watch this. Let me go down. Alright, we're in first. Well, we're kind of on the hill. Hold on. Alright, here we go. I got my brake in, I got my clutch pulled all the way in, and it's inching forward. So that clutch, oh, it's over here. That clutch may need to be replaced. It may have, the basket may be bad, something like that. I'm not sure. We'll have to tear into that. Not in this video, but definitely something to do in the future. But seems like it's got good power. Oh yeah, plenty of power. I like how this bike feels too. I mean, it's a good size for me. Suspension feels pretty good. We'll take it over here to the hill, see how it does climbing the hill here. Alright, let's try to take it up the hill here now. Woo. Oh, we got it. Yeah. Pretty steep incline right there. I've taken smaller bikes up here before, so I mean this one did a pretty good job, but we'll go ahead and maybe try to get a top speed on the road right here, see how quick it is, and then probably head back to the house. So let's hop back on it, go back down the hill, and then we'll hit a speed test real quick. Head back down the hill here. Where do we come? I think we came up right here. There. Steep hill, but not too bad. Alright, right, let's turn around right here. We'll get us a speed test. All right, we hit 60, no problem. Obviously running out of space there, but yeah, no issues hitting 60. Definitely a nice little bike. Feels comfortable. It sits kind of low, so it's good for somebody that's a little shorter like me. Yeah, this thing's got some good power. We'll head back to the house. Well, guys, I guess that's going to about wrap up this video. Great little bike. It was a lot of fun riding it over there. We're definitely going to do some more videos with this, and I think I'm going to do a video specifically on replacing this clutch. We're going to have to get in there and see what the issue is. So if you guys like this kind of content and want to stick around for the ride, be sure to like, share, and subscribe this video. We'll definitely have a lot more content for you guys coming soon. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.